Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about motorcycles. I'm sure you've all had your fair pick of motorcycles. You know, I'm a big fan of them myself. I've been driving a Honda 250. That's how I've been getting from A to B. It's like my normal commute. Of course, I wanted to upgrade, and so I bought a project bike for this winter to work on it throughout the winter. And by the time next spring comes around, it'll be nice and ready. It's really nice. It's a nice blast from the past, as this line of motorcycles made by Yamaha, it's been discontinued since '98. So when I say it's a blast from the past, I really mean it. This one's specifically a '96 model. There's two names for this motorcycle because the US version and the Britain version went by two different names. They're mostly the same. See, the US version, which is the one I have, is called the Yamaha XJ600s Seca 2, while the UK version is called the Yamaha XJ600s Diversion. A little bit different, but for the most part, they're the same exact bike. So yeah, let's get into this. First thing I want to acknowledge is that if you look at the license plates, you can tell that this expired in 2018. This bike hasn't actually run since then. I bought it off a guy on Facebook Marketplace who says he's been sitting in his storage unit for years, as this was his first bike, but when he upgraded, he didn't want to get rid of it. He also didn't really want to ride it. So it's just been chilling for years. And I told him, you know, I'd take it off his hands. We looked at it and looked at a bunch of things that might have potentially been wrong with it inside his storage unit, and we knocked a lot of the money off. Originally it was $800, but after looking at a lot of things, we knocked it down to $500. For the most part, it's a solid bike. I mean, it just needed a lot of cleaning. I took a lot of it off. As you can tell, all the fairing pieces are hanging up over there on the wall. So I haven't really gotten to them yet. They all have little scratches and stuff. Like this one's got a little bit of rust on it. This has got scratches. This one's just completely messed up. I mean, there's broken everywhere. Chips in it. Broken pieces, complete bolt holes just gone. And that one just has scratches, which one's actually the best of them all. The bike does run. The guy managed to get it running for me, and I think the battery is bad, so I will have to replace that sometime soon. Also, thing to note about this is there was no mirrors when I first got it, but I got these for my Rebel. As you can see, they have the smaller, sleeker mirrors on it now, so I still had the old ones, and I was like, I can put these on here until I get new mirrors, but I noticed something. The holes in the brake lever for the mirrors is stripped, so I can't twist that all the way on there, which sucks, but whatever. The clutch one is fine. Now, these are very dirty. I've tried to clean them up a little bit, but they still look very terrible and worn and stuff, so I plan on replacing them sometime soon. Plus, I want to add a hazard button on it and wire that up so I can have hazard lighting. For the most part, the LED, which the guy actually told me he replaced his original turn signals with LEDs. So you probably know LEDs didn't come with a motorcycle that was from 1996. Hell, they probably don't come with normal motorcycles made today. Now my Rebel, which is a 2007, didn't have LEDs on it. I had to put those in myself. But he replaced them, put the diode kit in it and everything, so I didn't have to put the diode kit in it. But the LEDs had been sitting for so long that they were so dim and they looked terrible, so I took them all off, and I'm in the process of replacing them. There's the new ones right here. These are a lot more brighter. Turn on real fast. As I said, the guy put the diode kit in it already, so I don't need to put it in already. As you can see, this one isn't flashing with it. It's just flashing very sporadically, but I haven't used these turn signal or these indicators yet, so I don't know if that's supposed to do that or not. For the most part, the headlight's actually pretty nice. I don't have any complaints for it. I might replace the incandescent bulb with a LED sometime soon. Same for the taillight. They work and everything. The taillight's just disconnected, so I took the whole piece down here off. It cleaned it and everything. The brakes are really nice. I know the front brake works really well because I use that when loading it. The back brake also works very well. I use that for getting the bolt off on the clutch. As you can see, there's no clutch currently. And then the clutch lever is still kind of broken a little bit. See, it's snapped in half a little bit there. There's supposed to be a little ball there, but there's not. I'm not really worried about it. As I said, there's no clutch, so it's not going to work anyway. The reason why there's no clutch is because the old one actually broke. All the little screw hole things in here. Let me turn the light on real fast. They all broke off. This part right here is called the clutch boss. which this part on the outline is called the basket. And I got the steel plates right there. And then the clutch boss is right here. And then we got a bunch of nuts and stuff underneath it, I'm pretty sure. No, they're right here. And this part's called the clutch drive, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong about that. And then here are the friction plates, which are definitely going to have to replace those. We'll get more into prices and stuff in a little bit, but yeah. Also almost forgot to mention that the tire fairing is pretty messed up as well. It's got some burn marks on it. I'm assuming that's what the exhaust did. Whoever first owned it probably pushed it a lot. And then it's probably why they wrapped it as well, because of the burn marks. It currently doesn't have oil in it, so we're not going to be able to like fire it up or anything at the current moment, but we'll do it sometime later this video. You see there's a lot of dirt everywhere because I got an oil spill while I was trying to, before I got the clutch panel off, I was emptying the oil. Let's see, it's still under there. I dropped the bolt inside the oil, and so my natural instinct was to like flinch my hand around and grab it, and I dumped the bolt. I was pretty mad at myself. Figured out that dirt's a pretty good succulent, and it was able to get it all out. It's still sitting, but for the most part it looks like it's getting better. I probably shouldn't kick that around with my sock. I'm gonna get oil in my sock. Another thing I didn't like about this is that the the horn really sucks. Which I thought it was because the battery might be dying, because usually that's what it sounds like when the battery's dying, but I charged the battery, bike was working fine, the horn still sounded like that, and I thought, probably gonna have to replace it. I think it's bad. I highly doubt that's just how it's manufactured. Honestly, after turning it on for the first time and hearing this engine, I don't think I'm really gonna need it. It's just loud. The clutch place, it's called the crankshaft, looks pretty nice. So I don't see any issues going on here except little bits of the gasket chilling around. But yeah, it looks really nice. There's little metal scraps in the bottom I might have to clean out later, but for the most part, it should be fine for now. Just waiting for that clutch to come in. It should be in probably next week, maybe around Monday, Tuesday. Hopefully. Yeah, I think that's really it. Oh, I almost forgot. There's a little hole in the muffler down here. It looks like it bent upwards into this metal piece. So I might replace it, but I'm not really worried about it at the current moment. So we'll see if I end up replacing it. And there's parts that are missing, like for example, the front fairing piece. There's supposed to be like a little screen infill thing that goes right here so this is all blocked off when the fairings on it. And of course there's the windshield, which was a pain to find, but I found it, thank God. It's really expensive, but also notice there's a little broken bits right here. I'm not really worried about. It's not really something I can fix, but I'm hoping it doesn't cause too much of an issue. I highly doubt it will, but most I'm worried about is it cutting something. Other than that, this bike is a heavy, really big boy. It's a really heavy bike. I know I dropped it once already and it was a pain to pick up. I had to get my friend to come and help me. He tied a rope around the sides over here and then he pulled and I pushed. Oh, it was a pain. I didn't like doing that. Yeah, I'm about to head downstairs to the whiteboard. Yeah, I'll see you guys down there in a minute so I can write everything down that I need. Basically just prices and stuff that I need for the bike. Alrighty, so I got some things laid out on the whiteboard up here. So as I said, we need the clutch boss to be replaced, but the item has been discontinued, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue to get. As I said, I could find the whole clutch basket with the discs for $105 on eBay, but of course, it's not that simple. It expires tonight, Friday night, and I don't get money till Saturday morning, so if I end up not being able to get it, which I don't know if he's going to relist it after it expires, then there's another one that's $76, but it does not come with the discs. So I'd have to buy new ones, which are $50 on Amazon, but eBay also has them for $40. The clutch gasket is a must, which I found on eBay for $15. Amazon did not sell them. It's weird. Well, not really, considering it is a 96 model motorcycle. I think I might need a new battery. I think mine is going bad. O'Reilly's priced them at $110. I'm seeing if I can find anything cheaper at the moment. As I said, I need some new oil for it, but I already have some, so it's crossed out. Some things I need for it to be street legal, and plus some safety items as well. I need brighter indicators, which are mostly the rear ones, which I already have, so I just haven't installed them yet. Some cosmetic things I need to do is repair the fairings. Of course, the front fairing is messed up really badly. And then we have the tire fairing that has a lot of burn marks on it. And then I need to buff the side fairings to get all those scratches out. And then also there's a few pieces that I am missing from the fairings. It's the screen overfill and the windshield. And of course, as I said before, I need to get a new muffler. Apparently, the bike has a bottom fairing, which I didn't notice. But of course, I can buy a bottom fairing for the bike. I think it's the UK version that has that, because I didn't see anything like it on the Seca 2. I did watch a video on YouTube that Seca 2 had a bottom fairing, but that was like the only reference I've ever seen of it. Some extras would be a new underglow button, because the button I have currently isn't like strapped up or anything. It's just like wiggly and everything. I also want to repaint it because it's just plain black currently. I'm not sure exactly what I want to repaint it yet, but we'll figure it out as we go. I also want to get the new clutch lever and the new front brake lever. I also want to get new controls. I'd like to get new ones of those just so they look nice, you know? All this together is going to be very expensive. Motorcycling is a very expensive hobby. I mean, it takes about $200 just to get the bike running in the first place, but that does not even include the battery. So this is going to be very, very expensive. So the brighter indicators I already have. The extra indicators are not exactly needed, but I'd still like them for safety purposes. I feel like I have it listed in 2 places. No, I don't. Okay, I just made it up. And then of course needs mirrors, which I have mirrors, but I'd like to buy better ones. Of course, as I said, it's going to need some breaking into. It's not going to run right off the bat, because it's been sitting for 4 years. So hopefully we can get it running and sounding nice. My goal is before first sign of ice, which currently it is November 4th, I want to get it running, and so I could drive all the way down to my dad's house, which is like 20 miles away, 30 miles away from here. I'm not taking the highway. Let's see how it goes. See you guys in a little bit. I just want to make this like abundantly clear that it is very obvious. This bike has been dropped many times. I mean, from all the little scratches on the handlebars to the broken fins on the engine to the little scratches on the sides of the tank. There's a lot of scratches on here. Like, look at that corner right there. Which that could be just from hard turning, but it's helping my case more. Then there's a whole lot of evidence on this bike that it has been dropped many times. I'm about to put the tail light on and the turn signals back on. But first I want to take this off, this whole cover off, and put in a nice LED light. Not the bulb, but this one.
Eastside love is living on the west end. Knocked out before you better come to. Don't die, you know the truth is some do. Go write your message on the pavement. Burn so bright, I wonder what the wave meant. White heat is screaming in the jungle. Complete the motion if you stumble. Go ask the dust for any answers. Come back strong with 50 valid answers. The world I love, the tears I've dropped to be part of the wave can't stop. Ever wonder if it's all for you? The world I love, the trains I hop to be part of the wave can't stop. Come and tell me when it's time to.
Alright. If you may have noticed, yeah, I'll zoom in a little. No, never mind. There's more. Let me zoom in. There's only 2 wires here, but there's 3 wires here because these are supposed to line up red, but the bike doesn't support that. So what I need to do is I need to cut one of these wires, whichever one's the brake light, not the brake light, but like the regular running light, and connect it to, I believe it's the blue ones. All the blue ones connect together, I think that's what it is. And then you should light up red with the tail light. That should light up. It's not. Why is it not lighting up? It's not. That's supposed to be doing that. Oh, it's not hooked up. There we go. That's nice and bright. So I put an LED in it with the brakes. It gets a little brighter. Same thing for the back brake as well. Turn on the turn signals and see what happens. Yep. So that one is the turn signal. They look a little sporadic. might have to put an actual diode kit instead of it, and instead put an actual diode kit inside of it instead of the turn signal assembly kit that came with. And maybe it'll fix itself. I don't know. But honestly, I don't really mind that. It doesn't look as it's supposed to, but at least we're getting that point across.
Far more shocking than anything I ever knew. Right on cue. Can't stop addicted to the shindig. Chopped off, he says I'm gonna win big. Choose not a life of imitation.
Alright, and finally, I got it all finished. All nice and secure. So you're not going to worry about too much that's going on down here because that's all going to get covered by a fairing piece. I'm not worried about the wiring right now. I'll get that all sorted out in a minute. But most importantly, I just want to see all of this nice and bright light. Hell, you can see it on the garage door over there. Which I'm confused because these aren't lit up. Why not? So I don't think the blue one was supposed to go into the blue one. I think so. This is blue, and then this one is black and black. I really need to find the schematics for this. Give me a minute. You see, what I ended up doing was putting the little silver ones inside the copper ones and just squeezing them to where they don't come apart no more. And then we put this back over it. So now it's just sealed. So I gotta push that a little more. I can't with one hand. Then we'll just push all these wires into here, make it look good. Probably gonna have to experiment with it. Looky here. The new clutch just came in. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, look at that. Get it out of this bag real fast. This is the old one right there. But I can go into the trash because we don't need it. It looks like this is the complete assembly. It's got all the discs and everything, and then here is nuts and bolts. Lovely. We don't need most of these because we still have them. As you can see, the gears are still there. We just need the nuts and bolts like this thread here and stuff. But put that in real fast. There's still oil trapped everywhere on it, so it's smoking really bad and it smells terrible. I'll tell you, the exhaust wraps underneath the bike got a good amount of smoke on it. Or not smoke, oil. They're like drenched in oil. So now that I'm actually running the bike and it's getting hot, it's melting, or not, it's evaporating all the oil and it smells terrible. It smells so bad. I'll tell you, at first I was terrified because at first I thought this was like the engine being, but no, it's because there's just so much oil on the wraps. And the wraps are just drenched with oil. Oh, it smells so bad. You say that is a smell that I'm proud to smell. I mean, it smells terrible. Oh God, I'm not used to a 600. You see, I've been driving a 250 for the past half a year, so 600s are pretty new to me still. Well, we got her all fixed up. I decided I'm gonna do the driving test in a different video because it's just, this video is already so long, so whatever, it's fine. There'll also be probably like a part 3 for doing cosmetics and stuff. Like, for example, there's a piece that goes here and the windshield that goes over it, but I don't have them, so yeah, once I find those and buy them, I can do a little video showing you all everything I bought and everything I put on, plus, you know, fixing the bearings. There's still small things that need fixed, like, for example, I don't know what happened to it, but the handlebar's gone.
I lost it, I think. But wherever it is, I can't find it no more. I also put a little engine thermometer on it. I don't remember if I told you that already. It also doubles as a voltometer and a clock. Yeah, she's a really pretty bike, and she runs really, really well. I also had to fix a fuel leak and a, what was it? It was a fuel leak and it was a oil leak. The oil leak was because of a blown gasket, and the fuel leak was because I was I was being careless and I didn't tighten the clamp on the pipe that goes to the fuel pump from the tank. I can show you real fast. Let me put the flash on. This one right here. Nope, that's not it. This one right up there. That one. I didn't tighten that one. It was leaking fuel, and that's where the fuel leak came from. Yeah, once I learned of it, I fixed it up. Of course, I tightened it and stopped losing fuel, thank God. It's rained. I was trying to wash all the fuel and oil, so I just left it out in the rain. Yeah, let's see how she sounds. It's pretty low. Idle. It's getting up there. It's cold, that's why. She's cold. And she sounds so pretty and she runs really well. So yeah. She'll be available on Facebook Marketplace in the Ohio Southwest regions. So if you have interest in her, come and hit me up. Currently she's at $1,500, but as I put in more cosmetics, her price will go up. If you can't tell by the rapid growth of my hair that it's been about a month. But long story short, I did put the XJ600 on Facebook Marketplace for a little bit, but I ended up having to take it down because there was an issue with it. You know, I want my bikes when I sell them to run. I want them to work good. I don't want them to break down 2 weeks after I sold them. So what I do is I ride them to work and things. I ride them all around the place, make sure they run fine. If they have an issue, I fix it up before I sell it. And of course, the Yamaha broke down. You know, I kept saying every time I was riding it that I felt like it's going to break down. You know, I was telling my dad while I was riding it, I feel like it's about to break down. It's about to break down. And yes, I was right. It broke down. There was, you know, I was on my way to work and like I stopped at a traffic light and my foot was wet. So I was like, what the hell? Why? It's not raining. Why is my foot wet? So I looked down and my foot's just drenched in oil. And I was like, oh God, there's oil all up in my shoe. So I had my bike towed back to my house and I, you know, went through all the covers on this side. And eventually I realized that there is a seal in the crankcase that holds the oil in place, obviously. And it's behind the ignition cover. At first I didn't know that. You know, I just knew the ignition cover was leaking. You know, at first I thought maybe there was a gasket on it. Maybe there was oil behind it. I didn't know what was going on. But eventually I took it all apart, figured it all out, and got that seal out of there. And of course I put a new one and got it working and everything. But yeah, I just want to say, I didn't film any of it because, you know, at first I thought, oh, it's just a small little O-ring from this one little plug, and I'll put a new one in, and it'll be good, not worth reporting. And then it ended up being a whole dilemma that lasted a month. So, that was a lot. Now, that's the official end of this video. I haven't put it back up on Facebook Marketplace yet, but that's because I want to do cosmetics before I find a buyer. Because one of these bikes, I actually already found a buyer for, and all I gotta do is get it running, which sucks. I really was looking forward to doing cosmetics on the bike, but whatever. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. As of right now, this is like the only video on my channel, but come back soon. Maybe there'll be some more if you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.